Alright, well, if you follow me on Instagram, you probably heard me talk about this, but if you're finding this through YouTube, you'll have no idea. I am 19 years old, and I actually got injured enduro racing in 2018. It's 2020 now, so I was 17, and I've been injured since, and it has been, well, dang near a mystery for what my injury is. I look perfectly normal. I haven't done anything like horrific. I haven't had any massive crash, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and how I have mentally gotten through knowing that I might never be able to race again and even ride normally again. So I've got a couple things on my phone here just so I don't get off track, and then I'll explain what this is here in a second as well. So how did it happen? Well, I was racing at Carvin's Cove in Virginia with my good friend Daniel, and he still is, a much faster rider than I am. And I was trying to keep up with him on all the climbs, and I guess I pushed myself too hard on practice day, and then when it came to race day, I was so exhausted that I just couldn't do it. I tried and tried and tried, and my legs were just not feeling it, but I tried anyway. I did my best. I got fourth, which was okay, but out of the field it was just kind of eh. And then immediately after that, I drove to Boone, North Carolina, and I did another race. So there's 3 days in a row of riding, and my legs felt so weak. I mean, I've never felt this weak. It is the feeling of when you push yourself super hard on a sprint, and any rider will know, like the tired feeling in your legs is just horrific. That's what I felt like through these entire 3 days, and I just was not helping myself. After those 3 days, I got home and still wasn't feeling it. I thought I was just overexhausted, and a week went by, then 2 weeks, then 3 weeks. I felt exactly the same. I felt like I had just done a 50 to a minute sprint, and it never changed. It was really unpleasant, and I couldn't ride through those entire 3 weeks. I was having trouble walking upstairs, except I had no idea what it is. I didn't know if I had torn muscles, because it happened in both of my legs, which was super weird. I had the exact same feeling, except I couldn't describe to anyone at the time what I was feeling. And I still have trouble explaining what I was feeling. One of the things I wrote down was, what could I do and what couldn't I do? Well, I couldn't ride, and I couldn't go upstairs. And at first I had no idea why it was only those two things that I couldn't do very well. Everything else was completely fine. I could go running, jogging, lift heavy objects with my legs, anything else. But it was just riding and walking upstairs I couldn't do. I got to a point where I had to walk upstairs backwards because I was in so much pain. And after I had gone to the doctor a couple times, we had come up with that walking upstairs and riding is the same motion, theoretically. So when I was trying to, let's say, jog upstairs, it was, whatever this is, it was the same motion as what I got injured doing. It's super weird. I had no idea that you use the same things to go upstairs as you do riding. And going downstairs was fine as well. One of the biggest, I guess, confusions and just something that was making me super discouraged was what people were telling me. A lot of people just thought, oh, you overused your muscles, You need to get glucose. You need to drink a gallon of chocolate milk every week to let glucose into your muscles, and you need to drink beet juice to do something. I don't know what the heck beet juice does. And nothing was working. I tried everything that we could think of and other people could think of, and it just wasn't happening. People were clueless, and they were like, oh, you just need to do it longer. You just need to do it longer. You'll be fine. Just do it longer. Another thing that really got to me, and this is when the mental side of it really started kicking in. I was about 2 months into this, 3 months maybe. I could finally start kind of getting on my bike, but not doing anything really, just coasting. And people were asking me to go ride, and they're like, oh, come on, ride, you'll be fine. Oh, I've had that before. You can do it. You're just being a wuss. You'll be perfectly fine. And that the amount that I had that happened was kind of sad. Like, it was so demoralizing. I was having all these fast people telling me, oh, you can keep up, it'll be easy. You kept up with me before. You don't have a reason to just not keep up with some sore legs. And that, it happened so much. And no one understood what I was even trying to explain, because I barely understood what I was trying to explain about how my legs were feeling. We had no idea. And I couldn't keep up with them anymore. And that was the worst feeling ever, is not being able to keep up with your friends that you could ride perfectly fine with before. And that was a really, really hard thing to deal with. You went from being perfectly fine at the top of your riding game, placing well every single race, to not even being able to keep up with a below average rider, even though you had the skills that you could. It was horrible. I would never, ever wish upon that to anyone that I didn't like. It is truly the worst feeling, not being able to keep up and go ride with your friends like normal. It is so horrible. What it was like not knowing what was wrong with me, that was horrifying. I had no clue what it could be. I thought it was muscular. Doctors thought it was muscular. They thought it was nerves. Could be nerves. To this day, I still don't know. We have no definite answer of what is wrong. And that eats away at your soul, because the one thing that you absolutely love to do, the one sport, you gave up all other sports to do this one sport. You poured your time, you poured blood, sweat, and tears into this one sport, giving up every weekend to go race, and it was just stripped away from you from some unknown thing. I tell people all the time, I would have given anything to break both of my legs, because I know that they would heal in some amount of time. 'Cause right now, I have no idea if I'll ever get better. I truly don't. There's nothing that has said, there's nothing that's given me so much hope other than what's right here that I'll get into in a little bit. But even this isn't me being healed. It's just kind of a thing to help me a little bit. Doctors were saying everything under the sun was wrong with me. That's the point it got to. It's been October 17th. It'll be 2 years. since I've had this. And I have been scanned, I've been poked, I've been electrocuted. Nothing has come up. I've done physical therapy that just made the pain constant from trying to work out the muscles or whatever the heck is wrong. I mean, I've had my nerves tested. My nerves have come up on scan as perfectly normal. My muscles have not lost any mass since this has happened. However that works. I mean, it was just like it truly eats away at you. And I'm a kid, you know. I'm 18. I was 17 at the time, but 18 years old. Zero idea what was wrong with you. I mean, I broke down plenty of times over it. It's scary not knowing what's wrong with you. Being someone who is perfectly healthy otherwise. And you're normal, other than this one thing that's made your whole world come crashing down, you know? It really sucks. How did I feel after 1 year? 1 year was when I decided that I should not race anymore. I did an enduro race at Beech Mountain. I don't remember when that was. The people who are probably watching this could comment the date if they remember. But that race was one of the worst experiences of my life. And it was truly miserable. And I put myself in so much danger over that race. I should not have done it. And it was stupid. It was irresponsible. I should not have done it. After practice day, I should have just quit. That's it. When I did that race, every single stage that I did, I was waiting for my legs to collapse out from under me and just crash. I mean, that was a fast race too. There was wide open stages, and I was waiting for one of my legs to just buckle under me, and I was gonna go flying down the mountain, out of control. And it was stupid. That is a horrible decision that I made, especially because before that, I had done a race at Paris Mountain in South Carolina, and I had my knee buckle, or my leg buckle, twice under me in that race, and I couldn't accept the fact that I shouldn't race anymore. You know, I'm supposed to be in the prime of my life, you know, and making decisions like that when you're 18 years old for the one thing that you've given everything for is really, really difficult. And I hope no one ever has to make that kind of decision at my age. So, how did I cope with not knowing I probably would never race again, and what made me make that choice? Well, I kind of said what made me make that choice was the Beech Mountain race, but how did I cope with that? A lot of miserable nights of just laying in bed thinking about if it was worth it or not. And it wasn't worth it. It was not worth me putting myself at risk for no reason when I couldn't compete to my full potential. And I'll go back to that Beech Mountain Enduro. I got, I think it was 10th place riding in my condition, and if you would have seen me after the race, you would have thought I just raced for 3 days straight. I couldn't stand when I got to the bottom. I was so exhausted, and my friend's mom came up to me and she said, "Oh, you got your goal of getting top 15." And that, I don't know why, but her saying that just broke me. Completely mentally destroyed me. I had set a goal for getting top 15. And there were like 40 people there. So that was a good standing, and a lot of fast people too. But me getting 10th place destroyed me. And it was because I knew if I was okay, I would have got podium easily. Would have got podium. And I was probably riding at 30% that whole entire day. And I got 10th place riding at 30%. And for a week, it destroyed me. I could not get past that. That is the most distraught I've ever been. And it was truly crushing. And having people tell me, "Oh, you should be happy with that. You know, especially in your situation, that's a huge accomplishment." Yes, but as a racer who's doing their best, I bought a brand new bike just for racing. I built it up, and it was my first ever race on it. And knowing that I could have done my one goal racing enduro, which was to get podium. I mean, I'd been so close. I'd gotten 5th more times than I'd like to admit. I couldn't do it anymore. I may never get to complete that goal, because if I ever do get better, I can't race sport men. That would be huge sandbagging, and there's so many fast pros. I think, who was in that race? I don't remember if Nico Mullally did that race or not. There was, I forgot which pro it was, but there was a World Cup pro there, I believe, and it is so fast in pro. And I especially think when I got injured, I was doing the best I had ever done. I mean, if you've ever been to Windrock Bike Park, you know, that is the scariest place to ever ride. And I was racing juniors, and my time would have finished me top 7 pro. And I didn't even get podium. That's how fast juniors were. But I would have got top 7 pro. And right after that race, I got injured, and it was all gone. I had no shot anymore. And that is truly, truly demoralizing. Alright. How am I coping now, and how did I cope with this? Accepting that I couldn't race anymore was definitely the hardest decision I've made, but I think it's also the wisest decision I've ever made. I've had so much free time since then. I've saved so much money. As most of you watching probably know, racing is extremely expensive when you're going through tires. Dude, every 3rd race you have to replace your tires, and you're braking, shifting, and new brake pads. It adds up real quick. I mean, I've saved so much money from not racing. But I guess how I coped with it was, unfortunately, accepting that I needed to give up hope of racing. And I know that's not something that you should normally do, is give up hope. But it was the only way that I I would know that I could, well, it was the only way that I could accept not racing, was giving up hope that I would ever race again. And if I ever can race again, I don't know if I will. But I making the decision of giving up hope helped me so much. Because not knowing if you're ever going to get better eats away at you more if you still have hope. And now that I don't have hope, if I do get better, it'll be like, oh, sweet. It'll be the best day ever. That I'm better now. I can do whatever I want. I can go ride with my friends and keep up. So there could be enjoyment about giving up. And I think that's something that I really did learn, is it's okay to give up. You don't need to be some positive butterfly all the time, because you're going to give yourself unreachable expectations. And I've been, ever since I gave up, I've been okay. It's still a struggle, but I'm moving on, yeah. I'm in welding school now, so racing would have put me at risk of getting bad grades, because I couldn't go to school and get my stuff turned in. And I think that's definitely something that'll come into, if I ever can race again, will I, because of the field of work that I'm going into. So that's, priorities change, I guess, even if they're not what you wanted them to be. Yeah, they'll change on you. But yeah, I'm fine now. I don't normally think about being injured, and I guess coping with it now is a good time to bring up these. So my doctor gave me these just to experiment with. They are lidocaine patches. I'm not one to speak on this because I am no medical professional by any means, but it is a 5% lidocaine patch that I wear right here. You can't. I wear it right there on my leg, over where it hurts. So my legs hurt right here in this spot, identical on both sides, and that's why they thought it was muscular. But the guy that I've been recently seeing thinks that it's nerves, even though my nerves have come up fine. And so he gave me these, and they have helped. And I can ride for longer amounts of time now, and kind of keep up. Definitely not like keep up, but I can stay within seeing distance of someone. And if I'm doing like a mix of uphill and downhill, I'm pretty much fine and I won't hurt afterwards. Yeah, these, so far I'm really liking these. Hopefully I don't start getting immunity to them, because they are helping. Which kind of means, I guess it is nerve damage, but that doesn't explain then why my nerve readings came up fine. Again, still unknown. Almost can come up on 2 years here. And the last thing I have is, what did I learn from all this? I learned that you need to be able to accept defeat, even if it's not what you want. And I've definitely learned how to cope with things. I mean, having your world taken away is, or I guess having your normal world taken away. I can still ride, just not great. I guess having top physical form taken away, which was my world, we'll say it like that. It was tough. But now that I've accepted it, I feel like I've learned how to deal with stuff so much better. and I've definitely learned that it's okay to give up, and it's okay to have fun instead of driving yourself to race. Like the whole reason I liked racing was because I was never satisfied. And once I lost the drive of never being satisfied, it was hard to find motivation to ride. I've thought of giving up riding plenty of times, but I've put so much time and effort into it, and I've made so many friends through riding that I don't think I could ever give it up fully. I mean, I might not ride in the future as much as I do, or I'll go into different kinds of riding, like I'm getting into trials riding, but I will continue to ride, which was one of my biggest fears, is will I be able to continue riding how I like. And so far, especially with these, I can continue doing that for right now. And I will say, it seems to be getting ever so slightly better, but I don't know what's getting better, so I can't help it. And I'm not doing anything to let it get better. I mean, I've been doing the same thing that I've been doing. It's truly mind-boggling. I mean, if you have any ideas of what it could be, I'd love to hear about it. If you're some neurosurgeon or something that's seen something like this, I would definitely love to hear about it. But yeah, I guess that's all that I've got to talk about. Learned hard lessons. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that I learned. Being 18 years old, you are not invincible. You will never be invincible. And I wish that I knew that at that time. And that was a really expensive lesson to learn. That was a really sucky lesson to learn. Because I always heard people that were all like, oh, you're not invincible. But I kind of thought that I was. And I was wrong. So if you ever feel like you're pushing your body too hard, stop. Just stop what you're doing. Because you don't want to end up like me with some unknown injury that makes it so you have to stop doing what you love. Don't do it. It is not worth it. From personal experience, I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy. It is not worth it. Not worth it. Yeah, that's all I've got to talk about. I would like to end on a positive note. I'm getting into trials riding on an enduro bike, as hard as that is. I've been having the most fun that I've had riding for fun. I still get to ride with the same people. Overall, I've just been having a really good time. School's going super good. In between school, I can go ride on weekends. My bike stays in one piece now that I'm not dying at gnarly bike parks. I'm saving money. I can have my weekends free to do other things that I like to do, like photography and stuff. Yeah, there's definitely positives, and racing, I found out, was just not, I guess, not what I wanted my life to be, was going to races every weekend, because it was so draining. I get to do stuff with friends that didn't race, or didn't do the same style of racing as you. So now I have more time to do stuff, which is really, really nice. There's always a positive to a negative, and I'm someone that thinks that everything happens for a reason. I mean, my time was ticking for something to happen. I'd gone 3 years racing without anything. I've never had a broken bone racing or riding, and my time was ticking. So maybe something horrific was going to happen to me, and I got this instead, so I could move on to do other things in my life. Alright, well, I know this is like my third time saying it, but that's all I've got. Thank you for watching, and thank you for, if you're coming from Instagram or something, but thank you for doing this journey with me. I'm excited to see where it goes. Maybe one day I'll get better and post a race video or something. Thanks for watching.